Grandpa's knob was basically the light bulb that went off in my head that we could use wind to power our future. The large wind turbine that was there in the 1940s was really the spark of the modern wind industry. I didn't know it in 1969 when I was 12 years old that this was going to be my future. After visiting Grandpa's knob, it was a couple years later, I was probably 14, I said, well, I'll build a little wind turbine on top of the sugar house. And I made one out of a little bicycle generator and a little light bulb, and it actually worked once, but it was a start of building a wind turbine to generate power myself. I got my driver's license at 16 right after the oil crisis of 1973 happened. And the gasoline went from 23 cents to over 60 cents a gallon, tripling over a period of a half a year. That was major. And it shocked the country, and it shocked me, and said, there has to be a different way. By the time I got to college, I realized energy was a huge problem for our society. I saw people being trained to be nuclear engineers, which is totally opposite what I thought we should be doing, which is to go to renewables. In 2008, the economic crisis had happened, and all of a sudden, the solar panel prices were dropping like a rock. I had built this great wind turbine, but all of a sudden, the market changed. It was no longer economical for homeowners to put in a small wind turbine at their home. I drew out on a napkin the tracker design. 2 days later, I gave it to my engineers and said, this is what we're now doing. And we were in production 5 months later. I met John at University of Vermont when I was a student there building a wind turbine for my senior project. And he eventually built a microprocessor-based controller for my wind turbine. And to me, this was amazing because I'm a mechanical engineer learning all this stuff, but this made it all work.
I was used to having students come in and ask to use stuff, but this guy, he was like driven. He was in there like all the time. We loved anyone with that much passion. We loved to let him go and do stuff, and he had it.
I had no idea in the beginning of where anything was going to go, but John turned out to be someone that came along for the ride and was willing to ride through a lot of stuff. I had put a competitor's tracker in years ago at my former company. I said, oh, I can do a much better job here, and I want it to be more economical. I want it to be mass-produced. I want it to be modular. I want it to be a corrosion resistance, and I think it can be much more efficient than what's out there.
The real challenge with designing products that are going to last a really long time is to be able to understand all the pieces, do a lot of prototyping, and simplify it as much as you possibly can.
We have probably less people for the amount of sales we do than most companies. And the reason is we value their time. We're going to have higher paid jobs, and they're more productive, and we get rid of all the waste in the system. And it's a philosophy that goes through the whole company and how we do stuff. Every day, I love coming to work. In other companies, they're dragging folks along. And no, we have all the folks that just do it naturally. And it's because we share this common vision of where we're going and why we're here, and we're committed to really saving the world. We've spent 40 years in this country trying to figure out what we're going to do beyond oil and gas and coal. We are now seeing the beginning of this massive change to the future of renewable energy.
Whatever we do has to be sustainable forever, and this is the sort of thing that is forever.
The theory is it doesn't take a lot of people to change, but it takes a certain number. And everyone that puts in a tracker is part of that change. They're actually showing to everyone else, this is where we're going, and we believe in this, and this is our future.